If we could have a roll call, please.
Washburn,
Yes.
Logston,
Here.
Turner,
Here.
Kinsey,
Here.
Miller.
Here. Okay, on to item 3, recognition of visitors. Looks like we have Mr. and Mrs. Costanza, Joan on down with the city, Marion with the paper. Move on to item 4, consideration and action of approving the minutes. Anybody had a chance to read them?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. We could have a roll call vote, please.
Miller,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Washburn,
Yes.
Logston,
Yes.
Kinsey.
Yep.
Okay, on to the city council report. Wes?
We didn't have anything the last meeting that was discussed that actually just involved the airport. There may have been something that happened in between now and then with the lease, but I think Joe Don can, with the ground lease, but I think Joe Don can update me better on that than I can.
Go ahead and do that at this time.
I can do it now, or I can do it, I've got a couple of things I needed to kind of report on. I can do it now, or I can do it a little later when we do visitors' comments, either way.
Let's do the business comments.
Okay.
Okay. On to item 6, the manager's report. Rick?
Well, if you look at the dollar amount, sales were down a little bit, but if you look at the total gallons, avgas was pretty normal. It was mainly just Jet A that was slow last month. The total sales were $9,529.58. And on airport attendance, I wanted to let you know that David Verhart is no longer with us, but Mitchell Rader will be starting this weekend. So, that's good.
Can we get some training for the guys not to run in buildings?
Absolutely.
They ran into the Woods County Industrial Building down there with the lawnmower. Put a big old rip in the side of it.
When was this?
It's been a couple of weeks ago.
Really? I wish you had reported that to me earlier. I'll take a look at it.
Anyway, they weren't even supposed to be mowing next to the building, and they did.
No, they're not.
So
On the, which side?
it's on the east side. They tore the tin loose.
Okay.
So,
Other than that, work continues on Terry Klein's hangar. They started the frame erection on the 6th of July. That's all I have.
Okay.
Everything's good.
Move on to
Trying
item
to keep it
7.
mowed down.
Move on to item 7, discussion and action to lease Jason Costanza airport land for the purpose of constructing a box hangar. And Mr. Costanza's here with us this evening. He's interested in putting right next to Mr. Klein's hangar, and I think basically the same thing, right? Right,
The door may be different, but the plan has to be the same.
okay. Anybody have any questions or anything? Not, we entertain a motion to lease him the ground.
I'll make the motion to release in the ground for construction of a hangar.
Second. Okay. Been moved and seconded. Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Logston,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Kinsey,
Yes.
Washburn.
Yes. Okay. And on the remarks and inquiries by airport board members, just real quick before the meeting, just 5 minutes ago, John Weaver stopped in. He didn't think he'd have time to stay. He wanted to comment on the amount of water that was in his hangar. So I told him I'd bring it up. So there it is. Not happy. Any other comments by board members?
We have those bids being opened on what day?
The 21st, the share hangar repair bids will be open on the 21st of this month. Well,
Have we had any bids?
I do not have any in yet. I believe there have been several that have contacted Greg and maybe Dale has met with, to explain what the problem is so that they can turn in a bid. But I don't anticipate, I wouldn't anticipate getting any till right before the,
I just wanted to see if there was any interest in it.
there appears to be some interest in it,
Good.
yes, sir.
Do we have a plan for the weeds growing up through the cracks to maybe treat that with something besides Roundup, or maybe sterilize it or
I have
something?
some ground stirring, yes.
Thing about ground sterilant, when it rains, it runs off into the other grass.
Yeah, you have to be
Less to
careful.
mow,
Well, yeah, but I know,
no more edging.
but
There's some stuff that'll,
But we don't need to leave, no, but
Okay.
we can get over there.
That's my plan, to get on it this week because of the flying.
okay.
I realize that.
are you taking remarks from the commission on this now?
Yes.
Okay, being out here every morning, I get lots of input from lots of different people, and you've already addressed one of them. I'm wondering about call forwarding. They tell me when somebody calls another airport, and if nobody answers the phone, they don't stop there. Now, we have call forwarding. If you're on a tractor or someplace, why wouldn't that work? It wouldn't make any difference where you were. You could still answer it, and I think we might pick up some business. Anyway, that was one suggestion we got. Another one, if we want to increase our jet fuel sales, we need to advertise, maybe give some of these companies that, you know, you can hire, give them a fuel discount. Send out some flyers to them. Something, I think we need to try to increase it if we can.
Are we authorized to give fuel discounts? I've never
Why
been
can't we?
before.
I just don't think we ever authorized him to do it.
We never have, but like, why don't we? I mean, do we wanna park the Jet A truck?
We would just have to get it on the agenda so we can authorize him to do it.
Well, I just wanted to bring it up and see how the rest of people, how you feel about it, how the rest of you feel. If that's not practical, then won't bring it up again, but I think we need to do something to encourage the traffic.
We do have a program that's called Air Boss, that if people are, it's through AirNav, that if people are a member of that, that we give a 10 cent per gallon discount. But that's the only discounts I've been authorized to give. It's called Air Boss,
Uh-huh.
or we can give 10 cents a gallon discount, either Avgas or Jet A. That's the only program that we have that I've been authorized to give any discounts on.
Well,
And that was set up before I started.
I think we need to solicit some business. I had another comment on the lawn around the building. They didn't like the windrows of the grass, where the grass got so long that when it was cut, it matted in rows, just for your information.
Around the terminal?
Around the
Oh,
terminal, yes.
okay.
Then on the little tractor, I understand the pintle hook that was on it is now on the the lawnmower. Could we get another pintle hook and put on the little tractor?
Sure.
I think that, I'd like to keep everybody happy if we can. And we have a new man, you say?
Yes, he's supposed to start Saturday.
Does he live
He
in,
lives in Alva. It's Mitchell Raider. You know
so he could
Ron
be
Raider?
on, so he could be somebody that'd be on call, that could be here in a matter of a few minutes
Right, he does live here in
instead of
town.
an hour.
Okay.
If we're willing to pay for the on-call. And we need, if we're gonna require somebody to be on call, we need to compensate them for that. It's not something that they would do for free, just so you realize.
Well,
I mean, we've got it on call for program.
what, in previous years, The on-call was just part of the duty.
You didn't pay
You come
him.
out and pew on the airplane, you get X number of hours extra. And of course, the airport manager was always on call.
And James worked last summer, he wasn't paid for being on call.
I didn't realize he was on call. That's probably,
But he told me it was, I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm not first-hand knowledge.
yeah, I didn't realize we had anybody that was on call out here, but that's, I mean,
Usually,
borderline, we gotta, I mean, we,
put this on the door, you need service call such and such.
Mhm.
Yeah, right.
I mean, like what we do, well, if we've got a phone that we pass around, like Public Works, I've got a phone that I pass around. It's a duty phone, somebody's on duty every week. And if there's an after-hours call, that person receives extra compensation for carrying that phone around because they are required to respond within a certain amount of time, and they are required to be here. You're limiting their movements. You know, they can't just say, hey, I'm gonna go to Enid today, this evening, because they're on call. I mean, if that's what we're going to do. And we have a program for that can be, we've got a policy for that can very well be implemented.
Well, then we
Well, I
need to
don't-
implement.
I don't know that we need the same policy that the city has, because it's,
You want to check the cost before you try to implement it.
yeah, we need to discuss it more,
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, because
because
it's $125 a week just to carry the phone around. And then a minimum of an hour. Minimum of an hour. I mean, you got to realize if you got somebody on call, you are
Oh.
limiting their movements.
Been there and done that,
Yeah.
didn't get paid for it either.
We can put it on the agenda next time and discuss it.
Huh?
I think we probably should get,
Yeah.
get it all out, what they cost me and stuff.
Yeah,
That's fine.
So we'll put that on for next month.
sounds good to me.
Wait, aren't you getting a part-time guy for the weekend? So would it be like on-call after-hours thing? Or-
That's how I
That's what we're
understand it,
talking
yes.
about. That's my understanding, that's what we're talking
you know,
about.
sometimes an airplane comes in at,
7 o'clock.
through at 9, a jet comes through at 9 o'clock at night. You know, they don't have anything to do. What do? Stay here, land, and, oh, there's nobody getting their fuel? And try to make it to Woodward, or?
The other part of that is our hours are posted in everything that touches Alva, that we're staffed 8 to 5, 7 days a week.
Mhm.
Nothing in our hours says that we have staff after hours.
True.
True.
None of the postings out there, so if somebody comes in after hours at 9, they know nobody's gonna be here. Every single thing that you look at, whether it's an iPad, an iPhone, or a chart, they all state our hours.
Yeah, but we still have people who come in after hours, project fuel and different
I
things.
understand, but
But,
if you went somewhere and they were closed, would you expect them to service you? Or would it just be an added bonus if somebody was there? I mean, I think we're talking about if you put somebody on call, you limit their movements, it's gonna cost a lot more money. Is that worth catching
well, that's
one of
what we
those
need to
planes a
discuss.
month?
That's all we need to discuss next meeting when it's on the
Or
agenda.
however many we are.
Most places that have an on-call after hours charge for that service too.
We have to discuss if we wanna
I know
charge
Liberal
for that
does.
as well.
Yeah.
So we'll put that on the agenda next time.
Next time.
Oh, one more thing, if, let's say that the unthinkable happens and we're not covered like last weekend, why can't the, city police open and close the building? Like, say on Saturday and Sunday, if something happens, can't be attended? Could they not come out here and open it at, say, 8 or 7 in the morning, and close it at 5 or 6 at night? This last weekend, it was open 48 hours.
Is that open, yeah. The way I understand, somebody told me it was open from, I don't know if it was the time whoever left on
Well,
I don't
Friday.
know.
My question would be, why would we want it open if it's not attended?
Yeah, it was open all
I
weekend,
didn't
lights
hear it.
on, doors unlocked, Nobody
I
here.
did not know that. This is the first I've heard of that, but I guess that would be my question is why would we want, if we don't have staff here, why would we want it unlocked?
Well, when people are coming in and they stop and they use the self-service pumps and they wanna go to the bathroom, I know you got a deal listed out there that they can punch in, but, we haven't lost anything yet.
But we will if we continue to.
Well, and I would caution us very highly on that because I reported to staff today that we've had 2 instances at the cemetery over the past week of vandalism. We left our equipment out, we left our equipment unsecured, and we had, if we wouldn't have caught it, we would have had over $6,000 worth of equipment that we would have ruined. Somebody poured sugar in one of our lawnmowers and one of our weed eaters.
Well, that's not.
I guess my concern would be if it were locked Friday night, who unlocked it? If it was locked when Greg left, who opened it Saturday morning, and whoever opened it should have locked it back?
That's right.
Or,
I agree.
or use the
Agree.
lockbox and not go through this door.
I agree. Some places do that, that's a why don't do that. A lot of places do that, of course, they don't have much in there, but they just be minimized.
Your idea would work, I mean, there's people out here on most every weekend coming and going through here that not even airplanes, just people coming in and out of here, local pilots that if it
Oh, I come out
opens,
and drink
somebody-
coffee if it's open.
Yeah.
And as far as the police, so we could probably get somebody to come out and open it. I've got people driving by here a couple of times a day, regardless.
Which I appreciate.
But it may not be, exactly at 7 or the time frames may not be exact, but
Oh,
But
depending
when the
on what's
lights-
going on.
oh,
When the lights are all on at midnight, when the police make their rounds, do they not notice that?
I'm sure they probably do, but they've never been asked to come in. The building's always been secure in the past.
Yeah.
They
Anyway,
noticed
they've
because
never
I've had
been-
a note on my door twice
I mean,
Okay.
it's something that
Our lights
I'll
are
bring
on.
up to the police
Yeah,
department.
I mean, I
to
just-
check,
Yeah.
but
Just
we've
said
never,
out, police department,
that's
like,
never
this
been
is
an
not-
issue to my knowledge
Dealership.
Yeah.
of having us come up and make those checks.
I know years ago, the police used to lock the cemetery. This has been 20 years or 30
Yeah,
years.
so
But
we
that's-
wouldn't lock the cemetery now.
Yeah,
anyway,
but I mean,
so-
they did. There was gates and chains that it was locked. And that was the duty of the police, but not saying that it'd work out here
Yeah.
or anything, but
Anyway, it was a phone.
And we certainly do
Huh?
check into
Yeah.
it. and-
but it,
Maybe it's not feasible, or
Yeah.
it's not necessary.
Paul just comes.
Down there where they ran the gas line a year or so ago, over here, this on-cue gas station, down there at the North End Airport, it has sunk in sufficiently, where every time I mow back there, forget about it, run the little mower down into the
Oh, by your,
ditch.
the blue hanger?
Between mine, mine and Bob's over there. If we could haul some dirt in and fill that up, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, anybody else, comments for members?
and we never did get a May financial report.
I didn't see that, I'm sorry, that's my fault.
Okay.
Oh, I've got a question. I read in the paper where you opened bids on the T hangers. News on that?
Well, that'll be a report item here, just one of the report items I
I've got
it.
just
Oh,
on-
How much you think it would
Sorry.
Gotta have it.
How much you think it would take?
Anything else, Dale, before we move on?
Probably get a bucket or pickup loaders.
Dale, did you have anything else for me?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Let's move on to item 9, remarks and inquiries by citizens.
Keep
Joe,
it
you got some
ours,
stuff?
Okay, yeah. One, talk about the T-hanger. We did open the bids on the 20th, or the 30th, excuse me. The evaluation committee is meeting tomorrow at 10 o'clock to evaluate those bids and see where we go from here. We got 3 bids in, ranging from in different stages, ranging from $170,978 to $450,448. When we meet tomorrow, the evaluation committee will lay it all out, see kind of where we go, what the differences in the bids are, and then hopefully be able to make a recommendation for that after that.
How much do we have left to do? You have to go out for some other bids?
Depends on what we take.
I see.
I mean, kind of depends on the group. If we took the $770,000 bid, that means we've still got to find somebody to erect it.
I think you meant 170.
Oh yeah, 170. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say.
It's gonna take that.
I'm sorry. Well, if we take this $170,000 bid, we'll still have to find somebody to erect the building and somebody to get the concrete floors poured. And then different stages on down through the bids.
Are you at liberty to tell us who bid?
Yeah, Erectitude,
Okay.
Hangers and Doors Unlimited, Full Fab. I didn't have Erectitudes down here. And Erickson Steel.
I'm sorry.
Erickson Steel.
Okay.
Those were the bids that we received
Okay, thank you.
from those individuals. Then, second update on the South Shore bid process. That bid will be opened on the 21st and evaluated after that. We met out here, Greg and I met with Curtis Brown of Garver Engineering 2 weeks ago. Or it was 2 weeks ago, about the NAS construction. They're going to do some more leveling of the taxiway to get the water drained. What's going to happen is going to drain down basically to the northwest corner. Northwest corner is actually, 5 inches lower?
He didn't tell me.
Yeah, 5 inches lower than what the head wall is at the highway. So we'll have to do something to get it to drain, and that'll be on us. That wasn't ever in part of the bid, so that'll be on us to get it to drain toward the highway. But that would, once they get that done, that would pretty much complete their obligation to the city for the Alva Airport.
Did they get the drainage under the taxiway there?
They should. They'll have that straightened out, but it's pretty flat. But they'll have that, which underneath the taxiway that they just installed. They will get that. It'll drain down to the northwest corner, and it's probably going to pond right there a little bit until we get the drainage fixed, going back to the east to the highway. But with that, we need to know that the head wall at the highway is about 6 or 8 inches taller than where it's draining to right now. Where it will drain to right now. The last thing, Greg brought this to my attention about 2 weeks ago, about some FAA requirements based on our runway as far as the no crop safety zone. I've done some checking with Garver, and according to what Garver has told me, and I'll let y'all have that to pass it around.
Yeah, I was noticing the other day we didn't have any, no till area on the end of our new road.
Right, it's about 500. It's going to be 575 feet from the center line of the runway, and 1,000 feet from the ends of the taxiways. So no till is basically going to go at this end from from the end of the taxiway to Harper Road.
We're gonna have to adjust their lease.
We will have to adjust the lease, we'll have to get with FSA to get some of that land taken out of crop tillage. And we'll have to get it planted into some grass. Huh?
We'll have to refund them some money, right?
They haven't paid us anything yet because we were waiting to get this. This came up right after the first of the year when they were going to pay, and I asked them just to hold off on paying us until we get this acreage figured out, so that they'll pay us the right amount when we get, and we won't have to refund them anything.
This all changed because the instrument approach moved over to the new road.
Yeah.
So,
And it to the west, it basically goes to the edge of the instrument approach, the AWAS. To the east, it basically comes up here to the east edge of what used to be the old taxiway, I guess is an access road now. Comes to there and squares it up. So there's going to be quite a bit of additional work that's going to need to be done, and maintenance just for mowing and things like that, that we're going to be required to do. And we'll have to find somebody to seed all that land to get it ready for. That's the reason it's not mowed. If they didn't till it up right now, is the stubble should provide some assistance in the planting of grass. When I'm in my talks with the leasers.
Are they calling that object-free area or a safety zone?
A safety area. Runway safety area is what they're calling it.
Okay.
And like I told Bussies and I told Garver, to me, whether it's grass or whether it's wheat, I wouldn't see that there's any difference. I mean, I get it if it's if we're trying to plant corn or we're trying to plant mallow, something that grows tall, but something that's growing short, I don't get. But that's my understanding of what FAA requires. So.
Can you get an exemption?
Huh?
Can you get an exemption?
I have not talked with anybody with FAA. If you would like to help me, you'll be in tomorrow. If you'd like to help make some phone calls, I'd be more than happy to do that.
They call that a no-till or no crop?
Well, it's called a runway safety area, and it says that no crops can be closer than 1,000 feet from the end of the runway and 575 feet from the center line.
I think it is, because I read something. I think it is relatively new, because I read something about it, and normally they don't really write stuff about the rules.
Well, and it may be because we upgraded the size and category of a runway.
Yeah. And that's one of the things Curtis had said is because of the upgrading of the runway and everything else.
Something I'd like us to think about is basically a center taxiway. Connection from the new runway to the taxiway at the bottom.
I think that is part of our
It's about
AIP.
3 years out on the plan.
Okay, good.
Anything else?
Thunder tires.
Now, once we have this taken care of, we'll get our FSA stuff taken care of. We'll finalize the lease with Bussies, H&E Land and Cattle, and get our payment in. They're ready to pay it. It's just we're wanting to finalize and make sure they pay us the right amount. And that's where we'll be at on that.
Any other guests have any comments?
Is there a way, or is there a NOTAM for 1735 no longer being a runway? Because I've pulled out a few times, and you get guys coming in chattering, and they're landing on, they always call it 17 left.
Yeah.
And I'll be just about taxing out if they're on short final. I'll get on the radio and say, hey guys, this is a taxiway now. and they'll peel off or.
There is a NOTAM that says 1735.
Let's say we met with the FAA here, not,
It's not changed, I don't have it changed on any of my.
Terry and I had a discussion on that.
yeah.
And
I noticed
some of these
the same thing.
mornings when the pancake thing's going on, you got
We
guys
met
sitting in
with
here.
them, and I've got the paperwork in here, and they said, yeah, okay, we'll get that marked as
Yeah.
no longer active, but they never have done it.
Okay, I just had an issue with it twice this year.
I've heard it on the radio, I can tell it's gonna be a problem.
Could be thrown.
And it's like, come on guys, you're lining up on used to be a runway, but it's all yellow markings now, the big numbers are to the west. Y'all need to go and do your biennial flight review a little bit sooner. So.
Yeah, it's very obviously marked as a taxi way.
May have to put an X.
Big
That's
X.
what I was just thinking, put it in.
Yeah, they have to.
I just didn't know if it was no or something. I would have figured it
It
would
is.
have been.
There is.
by this point.
Anything else?
That would be all that I would have to report at this time.
Okay. All right, then we will call this meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.